What dyslexia really is I want you to imagine as the field thinks right now, because just so you know, I have the worst case of dyslexia people have ever seen. I had a 20-hour neuropsychological evaluation done by a State University of New York distinguished professor, Dr. Holichka, about the best one in the State University of New York system at the time. And I have a first grade reading and writing level when my system's not working. When it is working, it's at the grad level. So what's going on? If you ask, well, first of all, let me, because it's kind of a complicated answer, but let me put it to you in ways that people can understand for the real world, not an academic discussion. So when I took what I just told you and I presented that in New York City at the New York City branch of the International Dyslexia Association in 2006, I thought I did something amazing. I thought I was done. I was wrong because the teachers asked, okay, does this work for not the most brilliant and the most motivated kids? Does this work for your average dyslexic student? And I said, not at all. Well, how are you going to take what you've done and transfer it on to other dyslexics? Typical students, I said, oh, okay, that took me a number of years. So what I did is I went back and Yale said the front part of the brain deals with articulation followed by word analysis. And I said, what happens if we swap that to word analysis followed by articulation? All right. So if your audience has dyslexic kids in elementary school or maybe even middle school, one of the primary complaints I got teaching special ed teachers this in New York City for the past 10 years is that they would tell me constantly they have students in elementary school who appear to be writing randomly placed misspelled words. How do we fix that? Well, if you're rich, if you're Bill Gates' grandkid, you're going to use an Orton Gillingham multi-sensory structured language approach where you see it, touch it, hear it. And the schools run about 75,000 a year. And if you go in and fourth grade or above, takes about 4 to 5 years to correct everything. House money. It's like, how do we do this a lot faster and for nothing of a cost? So here's how we do that. We switch it over to word analysis followed by articulation. And let's just try to pick a student. Do you know a dyslexic elementary school kid?
Mm, No, maybe I met some, but I no. Let's say no.
Oh, okay, so I'm just going to give you my standard example. Her name is Sarah. She was 10 years old at the time in fifth grade with a second grade reading and writing ability. Sarah's writing randomly placed misspelled words. So, how do we get her to first write a basic 3 word sentence? We're going to focus on word analysis first, and then to get her writing up to the end of second, beginning third grade level, we're going to add because, and then we're going to use articulation. So word analysis followed by articulation separated by because. See how and just so your audience understands, I'm showing the dyslexic brain again. We're going to use that overactive front part of the brain that's 2.5 times overactive. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is have Sarah type out on a laptop computer, not an iPad, not an iPhone, not handwriting, an actual laptop, an actual keyboard, usually on a laptop. Hero plus sign, what are we talking about? You're going to type that first. She's going to copy it. Default writing strategy of copying, Professor James Collins, Strategies for Struggling Writers. So it's hero plus sign, what are we talking about? We're going to swap hero for Sarah. Sarah plus sign, what are we talking about? We're going to swap what are we talking about for swimming. We have a list of 10 likes and 10 dislikes. Her favorite thing is swimming. So we got Sarah plus sign swimming. See how we got there?
I'm so confused. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me go back and simplify. We have you type out hero plus sign, what are we talking about?
Okay.
Then we're going to swap out hero for Sarah. Sarah plus sign, what are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to swap out what are we talking about for the first thing on her list of likes, which is swimming. Sarah plus sign swimming.
Mm-hmm.
See how we got there?
Mm-hmm.
Now what we need to do is the plus sign is the visualization default strategy from the same book and author. It indicates we need to add words, subtract words, or move words around. So in this case, we need to add a word to get a basic 3 word sentence. Good so far?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the plus sign needs to be replaced with like or dislike. So just to repeat, swimming is Sarah's favorite activity. She's on the swim team. She's an assistant swim coach for the little kids. She gets in the pool every chance she can get. Okay, so Sarah plus sign swimming. I'm going to ask you some of the easiest questions in the world. If you add it, to make this work, you have to answer them exactly. They're the simplest questions you will ever be
Oh
asked.
my god, I'm
You think I
sweating.
can fool you?
I
Okay, are you ready for this?
not really, but let's go.
Okay. So we got Sarah plus sign swimming. We need to replace the plus sign with a word. Okay. So here's my question. Does Sarah like or dislike swimming?
I guess likes?
Okay. Replace that word with Sarah, replace the plus sign. What's the sentence?
Sarah likes swimming.
Yes, but that's not what I asked.
I'm sorry, man. This is like making math, but at the same time we're talking. I'm horrible at math.
No, no, you did what every educated person does. I asked if Sarah like or dislike swimming. You said likes. And then you placed in the sentence so it's correct. There should be an S at the end of it.
Oh my god, I'm getting
You see how
dyslexia.
right, but the thing is you added the S and you made it a correct sentence because that's what educated people do. Sarah's dyslexic. She doesn't know how to add the S.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
She would have said, I said, you like or dislike. She would have said like, because that's what I asked. Then she would have replaced the plus sign. Sarah liked swimming. But then how do we get her to add the yes? Okay. If you're rich and you're using that Wharton approach, you're going to do seeing, touching, hearing, feeling, every sense you can imagine. And they use that to get her to add the yes. It's really complicated. I'm going to show you how to do it real simple. We would ask because Sarah liked swimming. Then I would ask Sarah to read what she wrote out loud. And then I would ask Sarah, does that sound generally correct to you? And she would say no. I would say fix it. Sarah likes swimming. It's that simple. Does it sound generally correct? No, fix it. And she retypes it. Then we practice that for 10 likes and 10 dislikes until she gets it perfect. Do you see how like and dislike is a very simple form of word analysis?
Yeah.
So now we're using that overactive front part of the brain. Now we're going to go because and reason one. Give me a simple reason why Sarah likes swimming.
Because it's fun.
Because it's fun. Just about everybody says that. So now we got Sarah likes swimming because it's fun. But now we got probably a whole mess of misspelled words. How do we fix that? What we do is we tell Sarah before she puts the period down, she can ask any question. And she just has to retype the word that she made a mistake in. Like she could ask, did I spell fun correctly? Probably not. You type it out, she types it out. Okay, but once she puts the period down, if there's a grammatical mistake, and I mean a major grammatical mistake, or a spelling mistake, she has to retype the entire sentence. So what does she do? She drops the period and there's spelling mistakes. So now she has to retype. And she said, I'm not going to make that mistake. She retypes it typically between 3 and 13 times. And what you tell her is to help lessen the annoyance, because she gets annoyed with herself. She keeps making the same mistake. You made a silly mistake or a silly error. But as she's going through it, she's concentrating deeper and deeper. I'm not going to make that mistake. And she makes it again sometime around 10 to 13 times. She's concentrating so incredibly hard that sometimes you see sweat coming down her forehead. All right. And that deep concentration is where the magic happens. That's where finally the brain starts to autocorrect. And she gets done probably around 10 to 13 times. She did it correctly. You do 10 likes and 10 dislikes until it's perfect. Then, because reason one and reason two, another 20 times. Then reason one, reason two, and reason three until it's perfect. Now, unlike Wharton Gillingham and every other program out there, in this case, the older the child is, the quicker they will pick it up. So a fifth grader can do this in a matter of a couple of weeks to a month or so. A second grader might take several months. What I just showed you will take the kid from writing at the at the kindergarten level and increase that to the end of second, beginning third grade level. So about a 2 grade point level jump in a matter of a month or a couple of months. And here's the next big thing. Yes, I'm not doing reading because here's my big secret. If you
Um,
can write it, you can read it.
just
If you can write it, you can read it.
one quick question. What's the name of this technique?
I simply call the process the writing methods.
The processing of writing methods.
No, I just call the title of the process the writing methods.
The
It's
writing methods.
not
Okay.
yeah, like Sam Altman and at OpenAI. I'm really good at coming up with bad names. Um,
I mean, it works. It works.
but the simple idea again, if a student can write the word spelled correctly, they can read it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what I just showed you, do you see how like and dislike is a very simple form of word analysis,
Mm-hmm.
and apt because the reasons are a form of articulation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you asked, what really is dyslexia? I just kind of showed you that's how we get past, but that's rule number 3. Rule number 1 is if I'm going to get typical students to do any of this, remember the motivation just ain't there. It's just not, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
We have to work inside their speciality, their area of extreme interest and ability. And how you find that out, it's a Saturday morning, tell them they can do anything they want, go anywhere, do anything. What is it? That's their speciality. Okay. And basically, let me give you an example of that. This will shock you, but for those who are listening, I'm showing you a book that is the most common one that I use when I do this privately. It's Walt Disney, The Triumph of the American Imagination. All 1,000 pages of this sucker. All right. That's the most common one that students ask for. Why? Have you ever been to Disneyland or the Magic Kingdom in Disney World?
Oh hell yeah, I love it. Yeah.
When you walk in, you're in Main Street in USA. Do you feel the Disney magic?
Now not so much as an adult, but yeah, of course, yeah, I felt it before.
Yeah, when you're a kid, there are 2 universal themes that make up the Disney magic. And the kids are like, I want to know what it is. I said, okay, well, you're going to have to read the book to find out.